What is up, guys? This is Ofo, and this is another overused battle in Black and White 2 that I had against someone by the name of Bowser Browsers that I found on the Wi-Fi Battle Finder. It turned out to be a pretty good game. I am using the same team as I have been using in my past overused Black and White 2 battles, mainly because it is a really good team. I really enjoy using it. It is extremely effective, and I've been doing really well with it, but also because I've been a little lazy making new teams. I will hopefully have like a different tier for some variety up in the near future, but I guess you guys are gonna have to wait for that. But looking at the team preview, I do notice that he does not have any weather, and he does have a Ferrothorn. Now that makes me think that he's going to want to lead with his Ferrothorn, predicting me to get up my weather right away and lead with my Politoed. So instead of leading my Politoed, I do lead with my Infernape, and I do predict right he leads with his Ferrothorn. So I am able to just go for that U-turn, knowing he's going to want to conserve his Ferrothorn because there's no reason to get rid of it, especially because Ferrothorns are very serve really good walls against terrain teams. And he does switch into Salamence. I go for U-turn, get that switch priority, and I'm able to get a free switch into my Politoed to get up the rain and threaten him out with that Ice Beam. So instead, I know he's going to want to switch because there's no reason for him to just sack his Salamence this early in the game in such a stupid manner. So I do switch out and go into my Mamoswine, predicting that Ferrothorn switch. Now the reason I did this is because I figured that if he sees my Mamoswine come in, he's going to think I'm going to want to switch out, predicting the Power Whip, and he's going to go for Stealth Rocks because, I mean, Stealth Rocks are very essential. But that will allow me to get my own Stealth Rocks, and I do value my own Stealth Rocks in the field more than him having Stealth Rocks on his side, because this team handles Stealth Rocks pretty well, because the guys that are weak, that are 2 times weak to Stealth Rocks, do have leftovers, so they can take at least like 4 or 5 switch-ins. So I then go into my Infernape as he goes for Leech Seed, and then go for U-turn. He does make a very ballsy play here and stays in instead of switching out, taking the Flare Blitz. The reason I actually went for U-turn is because I didn't like that Leech Seed damage that I was taking, and I knew that after, Iron Barbs and all that Flare Blitz recoil and Leech Seed, I would be at a very low health, and I thought it likely he was going to switch out, so I did go for U-turn. Unfortunately, he does predict that nicely, but at least I can just go into my Thunderous Therian and go for Focus Blast. I hope to take it out to prevent him getting any more spikes up. Unfortunately, he does survive with a fairly comfortable amount and is able to get up a second layer of spikes. Now this turn, this next turn is kind of a bad play on my part. I do go for Hidden Power Ice because I thought he might go into Salamence, predicting the Focus Blast, and I was really worried about Focus Blast missing, and I thought that Hidden Power Ice might kill from that range, but I'm just kind of underestimating Ferrothorn's natural bulk on the special defensive side, and I'm not Life Orbed, and I am timid, so it isn't enough, but at least I can get up, safely take him out with the second one. Unfortunately, that is at the cost, and now he has 3 layers of spikes and Stealth Rocks, which is going to be very, very annoying. So now he brings in his Tracheon, and here I actually thought he wasn't going to be Scarfed and he was bluffing, because he does have a Ditto, and those guys are 99% of the time Scarfed. So I thought he wouldn't have 2 Scarfers. Unfortunately, he actually does. He's able to take me out with a Stone Edge, and there goes my Thunderous, which is a massive threat, of course. So now at least I know he's Scarfed. I can just go into my Ferrothorn and safely go for Thunder Wave just to cripple something, because he has nothing on his team that wants to take a Thunder Wave. Unless, of course, they have Lumberry, like the Salamence does actually have. So, seeing Lumberry, I know he's going to I really want to scalp for Fire Blast, because a lot of Salamences do have Fire Blast, so I go for Protect, knowing that he's not going to want to go for Dragon Dance, because he saw that I did have Thunder Wave. So, I do Scout, I do see the Fire Blast, but now that he knows I know that he has Fire Blast, it's kind of getting complex, my reasoning here. But I figured that he's going to want to stay in, go for Dragon Dance, predicting a switch, and then I just stay in, go for Thunder Wave, and cripple that Salamence. So there's a huge threat just out of the way, just like that, because of a nice prediction on my part. And now I will just switch out into my Politoed, knowing that because he just got out-predicted last turn, opponents normally play pretty conservative if they over-predict, and that costs them big time. So I do go for Politoed, expecting him just to go for the safe play and go for Fire Blast. He does, and I take that beautifully because I'm special defensive, it's in the rain, it's non-stab, and I'm specially... oh, I already said that. And it's resisted. So And I guess here he stays in, thinking his Salamence is pretty useless with the rocks up and it's paralyzed, and maybe he was hoping that he had a chance of outspeeding because Politoed isn't too fast, and was at +1 speed, but he's still paralyzed, so I'm gonna be able to outspeed him and go for that Ice Beam. So now, unfortunately, he brings in the bane of my existence, the Sableye. Unfortunately, there's nothing else on my team I want to face this Sableye with other than Politoed, so I do just stay in, take that predictable Toxic. I was hoping he'd have Will-O-Wisp, but he doesn't. He does have Toxic, showing that he is definitely a Toxic Staller. And go for Scald. Like, I figure that if I'm able to get a burn off the Scald, which is, I think, a 33% chance of happening, I will be able to kill this Sableye, what with residual damage from that burn, and seeing that in the rain, a Scald, even without a special attack investment, is doing around half. But due to Prankster, he is able just constantly go for these recovers and try to stall me. So the first two Scalds, unfortunately for me, do not get a burn, but luckily this third one does, which means that at the amount of HP I am and the level of Toxic I'm taking, I might be able to outstall him, even though it seems a little unlikely. But I am willing to sacrifice this Politoed to get a free switch in to safely take out this Sableye, or at least force a switch. So here he makes a very unusual play and goes to Will-O-Wisp. I guess he was predicting me to want to save my Politoed and switch out into one of my other Pokemon, which are all physical attackers. And I will admit that thought crossed my mind, but it's a little unlikely, seeing as he doesn't have Weather of his own, which means I don't really need this Politoed, and it would be a little risky because, that Sableye does have Will-O-Wisp, so I didn't do that, and it was a little silly prediction there. But now he goes into his Alakazam, and fortunately for me, I am able to survive because I do have that special bulk, and he doesn't have Psyshock, he has Psychic, and I'm able just to break any potential Sash that Alakazam has. I'm assuming he does have Sash because I don't see any, because I'm guessing he's not Choice Specs or Scarfed. Well, I know he's not Choice Specs because that didn't kill. I know he's not Lightful because that didn't kill, and it makes sense that he would be Focus Sash, because a lot of them are. So now I just go into my Gyarados, thinking that he's not going to have 3 Scarfers on the team, and I can just get up to +1 with Moxie and take out that Alakazam safely. So now he brings in this Terrakion. Now, I know this thing's Scarfed. I was hoping that he might be Adamant Scarfed and I might outspeed, but not just for that reason. I do stay in because I think he might predict my switch out into any of my other Pokemon to easily take the Stone Edge, because every other one of my Pokemon is weak to close combat. So I actually stay in, predicting him to predict the switch. Unfortunately for him, he makes the good play. He goes to Stone Edge, and it misses, which is undeniably game-changing. If that hadn't happened, my Gyarados would now be dead. I would be down to my Mamoswine, my Ferrothorn, and and my Infernape. So that was really game-changing, but I guess, that is the risk you run by running power over accuracy. But now he brings his Ditto. It is down to a speed tie here because he is Scarfed, and I do fortunately outspeed, and a Waterfall is going to 1 KO him because it is +2 in the rain, and Gyarados is definitely not the most bulky, so it is actually going to be the game. I believe it was a 3-0, and that speed tie at the end didn't really matter at all, because if he went for, whatever he went for, if he went for Stone Edge, my Ferrothorn resists that. He goes for Waterfall, my Ferrothorn resists that. And I could Thunder Wave him with my Ferrothorn and just take him out with Power Whip. Or, worst case scenario, just go to my Mamoswine and finish him off once he's paralyzed. So, ultimately, I don't think winning that speed tie really mattered, other than just speeding up the game. But undeniably, that Stone Edge miss did matter. But like I said, that's the risk you're running by running Stone Edge over Rock Slide. So, but I guess that's it, guys. I thought that was a pretty good game. I made some good predictions. He made some good predictions. And it did come right down to the wire. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and that's going to be it. See ya.